Okay, we are in a discussion of AWS solutions architect, and we've been discussing about containerized solutions, right? And my previous videos was telling that I'm going to do a video with ECR, AWS Elastic Container Registry for solutions architect, right? So today we're briefly going to discuss about what is this container registry and how do you manage containers in that container registry, right? All right, let's go ahead. All right, so introduction to AWS ECR. So, what is this Elastic Container Registry? Amazon Elastic Container Registry. Amazon Elastic Container Registry is a fully managed AWS service for storing, managing, and deploying container images securely. It's a image container repository, right? So you can store your container images and then you can manage them and then you can deploy containers directly to AWS environment through uh, Elastic Container Registry, right? So this one is support both private and public repositories, right? So you can keep your registry as a private or you can keep it as public so others can use them as well. So integrated with AWS IAM for resource-based permission. So IAM, Identity and Access Management, you can use resource-based permissions policy for that, and then handles Docker images, right? OCI images and OCI compatible artifacts, right? So fully scalable and reliable infrastructure solution architect can focus on application deployment rather than infrastructure management. So once you keep your required container images, so you can manage them from their container registry with the repository, right? Uh, security features. So ECR provide robust security with IAM integration that said you get resource-based permissions and then allowing specific user or easy to instance to access repositories and images securely. Easy management, push, pull, and manage images using prepared CLI. AWS handle the technical aspects so you can focus on your application, right? So you can use push, pull, and manage images in there, right? So it is basically a containers which we keep and storing them, right? All right, let's go to have a look at container registry fundamentals. So basic taxonomy in a Docker, right? So what is this Docker containers, right? So what is a container registry? A centralized repository for storing, managing, and distributing container images across environments, right? Essential for centralization workflows and cloud native deployment. So all of your images are in a centralized repository, so you can access easily without any problem, right? So you have storage functions act as a digital warehouse where container images catalogs, tags, and versions for each retrieval. So that is storing containers. You have catalog and you can tag them and you have versions, later versions when you modify them, right? You can keep a later version. Push pull workflow, develop push upload images to the registry while users pull download for deployment in their environment. So developers develop get ready the container images, and then they upload into the repository. And then when the users need a particular image, so users pull them for deployment in their environment, whatever the environment you have, your cloud environment, so you can download them into that, right? So registry type, you have with different registry, public registers, Docker Hub, right? GHCR offers readily available images, while private registries provide enhanced security and control for organizations. So if you think public registries like Docker Hub is secure wise not good for you, you can keep like a private registries only for your organization to download them, right? So let's have a look in this picture. What you have, some sort of a taxonomy, right? That is the wordings which we using in there, right? So you can see the picture, the registry is there, or registry store many static images. So you can see that cupboard, you got so many different images are there. So images, static, persistent container images, right? And then this is app container images running, and app process, right? Service web in the computer, right? So so hosted Docker registry, right? Docker trusted registry on premises, so you can keep them in a private container registry. So that's a private entries, and then you can have in a public cloud categorized in specific vendors. You have a Docker Hub registry, so Docker trusted registry on cloud, and then you have Azure container registry, and then you have AWS container registry, and then you have Google container registry, right? And then Koei registry and other clouds. So you can have this container registry everywhere, right? The different providers. Okay. Let's looking into container registry of AWS, right? So what are the features in here? So fully manage, the importance is 95, so the fully manage, and then you have a 90% scalability, and then you have a security 85, and then others integration with other services, so 80%, and vulnerability scanning 75. So security, so ECR provides resource-based permissions using AWS IAM. So this is resource-based. You have user-based and resource-based, ensuring only authorized users can access repositories and images, right? Fully managed service, right? So it does eliminate your concerns about infrastructure concerning, allowing architect to focus on application development. So your background, your infrastructure is already there, and the scalability. ECR offers high performance hosting that scales automatically based on demand, so ensuring reliable image store and retrieval. So expansion, scalability, the integration, seamless integration with the AWS services like ECS, EKS, and Lambda enables efficient container deployment workflows. So ECR is ECS and EKS. So everything integrated, so you can keep the containers whatever you need in ECR, and then can be deployed into a ECS and EKS, whatever we discussing, right? And also serverless functions like Lambda. Uh, okay, let's have a look at security and access control. So AWS ECR security architecture with IAM integration. So let's looking into how these services are integrated and giving security through identity and access management. So you have a legend here. You have a core service and then compute, and then you have a security features, and then data flow in arrow direction, and then so you got a rectangular type boxes for container, right? So Amazon ECR, right? Elastic Container Registry. So you have a repository, so my app, so repository, and then you have a different version. So version one, version two, version zero, and then resource policy. So cross account access control. So that is resource based policies in here, and then vulnerability scanning workflow. So image push inspector results, right? EV detection, CVSS scoring, and then compliance, right? And here the CV security control. You can have encryption, so VPC endpoints, right? And image signing, right? And then here the IAM control panel, so identity and access management. So you have ECR policies, right? And then you have a service roles, and then you can authorize to IAM to this repository, right? And then users and services. So developers can upload images here, and then users can use them, pull. Developers can push, users can pull them, download. So EC2 instances, right? And then here, and this direction, you can have monitoring and login. So you can use CloudWatch logs and CrowdTrail events. So that's how these services are integrated with each other to manage their security. So, says IAM integration, ECR uses AWS identity and access management to enable resource-based permissions for both private and public repositories, right? And then you have a granular access solution architect can define a specific user EC2 instance that can access container repository, that is roles, like service roles, right? Um, Vulnerability scanning, so integration with Amazon Inspector automates vulnerability assessment, scanning, and remediation ticket routing, right? So that's how they are working together to make the environment is safer, right? Okay, so how does this ECR integrate with the AWS other services, right? So see container registry, you have a seamless integration. So here it says ECR works an extension of both ECS and EKS. So that is container service and Kubernetes services, creating a unified container management experience for solution architect. So here, so you have container registry. So it's integrate with the compute service, AWS Lambda, that is serverless, and then Target, also serverless, and then here the container orchestration, so managing container services, and that's we call orchestration. We discussed that. So that's ECS and EKS. So this one is manage, so integrate with orchestration. So AWS service integration. So you can see ECR is fully managed service that let you store, manage, and deploy Docker containers, images, security integration with the key AWS service to help solution architect deploy and manage container efficiently. So you see here ECS, EKS here. Uh, where the EKS has 40%, and then here the Lambda 30%, and then Fargate 30%. So each percentage they've been using for in each service, right? deployment workflows with ECR, right? So this is CI and CD pipeline. So CI continuous integration and then continuous deployment pipelines with AWS ECR. So how do we do? So Git repository, right? So you got a Git repository and develop a push code, right? Says code commit, right? And then Jenkins and GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions. So you have CI/CD build containers, right? And then build and test. Uh, Once you build and test, you can push it to AWS ECR. So they're ready in the uh, container service images, and then you pull images to services for ECS, Elastic Container Service, and Elastic Kubernetes Services, right? And then you deploy them and in a production environment, right? So this is the automated CI/CD pipeline. So developer push codes and build the container and upload into a ECR. Then ECR you can use for this production type deployment services, right? So see that solution architect can use their preferred CL push pull manage Docker images, right? OCI images, right? And then the ECR seamlessly integrated with AWS services, Lambda, ECS, EKS, right? And then you deploy them in actual production environment. So how is it is working in the workflow? All right, so what we're going to discuss here, a little bit of advanced ECR user cases. So vulnerability management, integrated Amazon Inspector is scanning services for automated vulnerability assessment, right? So Amazon Inspector scanning services for finding vulnerability in containers, right? And then benefit for solution architecture streamlined security compliance and automated remediation ticket routing. So global deployment. So high performance hosting for reliable deployment of application images. So consistent deployment experience across multiple regions and environments. Then public repositories. ECR public for sharing container images with broader audience. So you can share it with the broader audience, not only your organization, but also the others, like publicly accessible. So maintain security with resource-based permission while enabling public access, right? Uh, Artifact management support Docker images for OCI images and OCI compatible artifact, right? So centralized management of diverse container resources. So that is actually what we discuss is we discuss about Elastic Container Registry, which is the managed service provided by AWS. All right. I think as we discussed, the ECS and EKS both are using this service for ready-made containers for using their services. So I think that's what I have to discuss about this um, Elastic Container Registry. Then we'll see you guys in a new topic in my next video. So until then, thank you very much.